I am on the slippery slope, and I'm going downhill like a train out of a station without brakes. There's no stopping it. I am losing my mind. I am losing my memory. I am becoming what my mother was like.
I used to have to write notes to myself about which side of the road to drive on. I actually had a sticky at one point that told me I needed to drive on the right side, walk on the left. I mean, I needed that kind of help. I signed up for an online brain training tool called Lumosity. I was in the 30th percentile for my age group.
While I was on the phone, I would all of a sudden start getting headaches. And at the same time, I started to have a hard time remembering people's names.
I didn't say, oh my goodness, facial blindness is a problem. I need to go and see someone and do something about it. I just was like, wow, facial blindness is a problem. How am I going to remember this person? Oh, they have 3 earrings in the left ear or the right ear, right? I'm going to, like, I do it that way, right? I would find something quirky about the person and try to remember them that way.
I'm going to plan this out. I'm going to see how much longer I'm going to be functional, and then I'm going to make a plan to basically end my life.
I sought out the best neurologist in my area. You know what he said to me? He said, good luck with that.
My neurologist was telling me to go to the psychiatrist, take this medication he was prescribing, Lamictal, and see him in 6 months, basically.
When the results came in and they told me that I had ApoE4, honestly, I was completely shocked. Even though my dad has dementia, I just didn't think that I had it.
I mentioned it to a very old friend. She recommended that I see a doctor who was doing significant research, she said. I had no idea that I was actually patient 0.
A member of our website posted a link to Dr. Bredesen's paper, and Dr. Bredesen himself very kindly offered to look at my biomarkers.
I heard about Dr. Bredesen, interestingly enough, from my neurologist.
My sister-in-law sent me Dr. Bredesen's paper. I read it and decided I have to follow this protocol, and I've got nothing to lose.
I do know which wall the light switch is on now. I do call my pets by the correct name. I do get in my car and drive like a maniac across country or wherever I want to go. And I don't get lost. And I don't use my GPS most of the time because I'm irritated by that woman's voice. And when I first started having symptoms, I backed off my work. I couldn't perform. I couldn't write a grocery list, let alone write a complex report and evaluation. There was no way I could do that. I noticed recently on an assignment that was extremely stressful, long hours, 7 days a week. I was working with 3 or 4 people who were half my age, in their mid-30s, and they were napping, they were getting sick, they weren't coming to work, and they were asking me, well, what's my secret? What am I doing?
I feel so much better now than I did a year ago, than I did 3.5 years ago. It's a night and day difference. My scores rose from the mid-30th percentile to the high 90th percentile. I was seeing scores of 98.9 to 99.9. I felt amazing. I landed yesterday at a major international airport in San Francisco and drove an hour to be here with you today, and that was no problem. I no longer need a sticky to tell me which side of the road to drive on. I mean, I'm doing terrific.
My memory recall on names is much better. When I play poker, I'm able to recall the situations, focus better. At work, I'm a little sharper. I lost some of my sexual desires, and that's bounced back. I feel like it's more towards the normal side of what was happening before. I'm happier. I sleep better. My relationship with my wife is improved.
I went to Parents' Day at my kids' school, and it was a completely different experience. I actually had a really good time. And I was seeing people that I hadn't seen in years who had just transferred to the school and with their kids, and I knew their names and everyone's names, and I felt confident to engage in conversation and talk to them. 2 of the languages I learned when I was younger were Russian and Chinese. And I knew I'd completely forgotten them because I didn't use them. I have no use for either language, and as far as I was concerned, they were gone. Very strangely, all of a sudden one day, like all this Russian started coming back. It was really weird. And I was so excited about it that I just started to write every word that was coming into my mind. And it's strange, it's like the channel opened up. And the same is happening with Chinese. This fall, I had to type something up, and I went so fast, like I used to. It was shocking to me. They redid the cognitive testing, the same couple hours testing battery, and this time he looked at that and he said, based on this, I'm going to say now that you were in early cognitive decline before, but now you're completely resolved.